The sun sets over Blackfire City Academy as the big day finally comes to an end. The class awakening ceremony is officially over, and students are already heading home. Most of the kids are disappointed, complaining that it was just a bunch of regular classes with nothing worth watching. Lu Ran sits alone, staring at his results. An N-Rank Necromancer, the lowest of the low. He spent 3 years grinding his stats up to 130 just for this moment. But even with those numbers, he still awakened a regular class just like the kids who barely broke 60. Usually, an individual's stats are supposed to dictate how rare their awakened class will be. With stats over 100, he should have been SSS-Rank, but the system stuck him with a trash tier job. He clenches his fist, wondering why he even bothered bleeding himself dry for years. In the distance, the crowd starts cheering for the student council president. Qin Wuyao steps forward, having just awakened as an SSS-Rank spatial walker. She plays it humble, saying her 104 stats were barely enough to qualify for a hidden class. The other students watch in envy at the academy's top beauty and her god-tier rank. Lu Ran realizes that despite their similar stats, the gap between them is now heaven and earth. A line is already forming of people begging to team up with the new S-Rank star. Lu Ran sighs and walks away, feeling the sheer unfairness of it all. His girlfriend, Wang Yujiao, finds him in the courtyard. She looks nervous, avoiding his eyes as she approaches. She doesn't sugarcoat it. She wants to break up. She's an S-Rank rare class now, and she doesn't see a future with a regular N-Ranker. Lu Ran asks if she's joking, hoping she isn't serious about throwing it all away over a rank. She's not joking at all. She reminds him that the Heavenly Dao Alliance is recruiting in just 1 month. That guild is the best in the nation, with resources and experts that everyone dreams of reaching. Joining them was their shared dream, and she's not going to let him hold her back from it. A hand suddenly grabs her shoulder, cutting the conversation short. Liang Xiaoyu, an R-rank berserker, tells her to stop wasting her breath. Lu Ran realizes Liang is the one behind this whole mess. Liang laughs, saying his dad already arranged a pro team to power level them. He calls Lu Ran a slum rat and an orphan with no chance of helping anyone. Lu Ran grabs him by the collar and tells him to shut his mouth. Liang doesn't even flinch, looking down at him with pure contempt. The other students notice the fight, whispering about the young master of the Liang group. They realize Liang just stole Lu Ran's girlfriend right in front of everyone. Liang mocks him, saying the former top student is now going to be dead last in the rankings. The rookie rankings are what all the major guilds use to scout for real talent. Liang even offers him a pity job if no guild wants to hire a trash-tier necromancer. Yu Jiao tells Lu Ran it's over. They belong in 2 completely different worlds now. Lu Ran tells her to just leave. He stares them down and tells them to get out of his sight. Liang scoffs and leads her away, telling Lu Ran to enjoy his pathetic pride while it lasts. Lu Ran stands alone, shadows over his eyes as his former life falls apart. Students in the courtyard are already gossiping about the breakup, laughing about how much it must sting to get dumped right after the awakening ceremony. They agree it's pretty messed up for Liang Xiaoyu to use his family's money to steal someone's girl like that. Lu Ran walks past them, ignoring the whispers and the pitying looks. He makes his way to the Blackfire City Central Plaza, where the bright neon lights dominate the skyline. The streets are crowded with people and bikes, but he feels completely alone as he walks through the night. He can still hear Wang Yujiao's voice, reminding him that as an N-Rank, he'll always be at the bottom of the rankings. Frustrated, he slams his hand against a railing, refusing to just accept this pathetic hand he's been dealt. He checks his stats, a level 0 necromancer with no guild. At this rate, even getting out of the slums seems impossible. But he's not going down without a fight. He tells himself he has to risk everything if he wants to survive. He stops in front of a weapon shop, looking at the high-end gear he can't even dream of buying yet. He goes inside and picks out a basic novice staff, dropping 300 gold coins for it. He knows the rankings depend on his level, so he has to hit the top 3 before recruitment starts. He heads straight for the dungeon hall, determined to start grinding as soon as possible. A receptionist greets him and leads him toward the back of the building. They arrive at the portals for the novice proving grounds. Lu Ran stares at the swirling energy, knowing his whole future depends on what he does inside. The woman warns him that going in solo is incredibly dangerous and highly discouraged. He tells her he's sure. He knows exactly how high the stakes are. Death here is permanent. She's still worried about the responsibility, but he's already made up his mind. He flashes a confident smirk, telling her he takes full responsibility for whatever happens next. He steps through the golden portal, the light consuming him. He arrives in a dark, moonlit forest, where the air is cold and silent. It looks like everyone else is playing it safe and waiting until tomorrow to start their leveling journey. He spots a couple of peppy boars nearby, They're level 1 neutral mobs that should be easy enough to handle. He raises his new staff and activates his only skill. Summon Undead. A skeletal warrior in a tattered cloak rises from a blue aura. He's only got one shot, since the cooldown is 30 minutes. The skeleton kills a boar instantly, and Lu Ran gets his first 10 EXP. At this rate, he'll level up in no time. He commands his minion to keep moving and chase down the next target. Another boar gets slashed, and the experience points keep rolling in. He watches from the tall grass as the skeleton continues to clear the area. He stalks through the woods, telling his summon that there's no use for the monsters to hide. He orders the skeleton to leave none of them alive as they push deeper into the forest. The skeleton lets out a silent roar, slicing through the low-level boars with ease. A notification pops up. Level 1 reached. He hopes this means he's unlocked something new. Suddenly, a massive rending tusk boar appears. It's level 5 and definitely hostile. The beast charges at them with a terrifying roar, air spiraling around its tusks. With a single blow, the boar shatters the skeleton's summon into 100 pieces. Lu Ran is stunned, his only defense is gone, and the summoning skill is still on a long cooldown. He realizes he was so focused on leveling that he chased the mob's way outside the safe zone. The level 5 monster is right on him, and he still has 19 minutes of cooldown left. He realizes he's way too far from the safety of the portal. He's sweating, desperate for a way out. Just then, a blue system window flashes in front of his face. Just as he thinks it's over, a notification pops up. He's obtained a new trait called Cooldown Elimination. He quickly checks his status window and sees that this trait completely removes the cooldown for all his personal class skills. He can't believe it. 0 cooldown for everything? He notices the trait even has its own dedicated slot. The realization hits him like a ton of bricks. If his cooldown is gone, he can summon an infinite number of undead warriors. He faces the massive beast again, a new sense of power coursing through him. He grits his teeth and tells himself that all his grueling work and suffering haven't gone to waste after all. It turns out he's not just some bottom-tier N-Rank regular. He's something far more dangerous. He doesn't have time to fully wrap his head around it yet because he's still in the middle of a life-or-death crisis. He points his staff forward and activates Summon Undead. Once more, lightning crackles around him as he commands the dead to answer his call and rise from the earth. Instead of just one, a whole squad of skeletons erupts from the ground, ready for battle. They swarm toward the monster, their blades drawn and eyes glowing with eerie blue light. Lu Ran's own eyes glow with power as he takes full control of the burgeoning army. He shouts out his command, ordering his new minions to hear his voice and obey. He tells them to show no mercy and slaughter every single enemy they can find. The skeletons tear into the monsters, and the experience points start flooding in far faster than before. He's amazed by the sheer efficiency of cooldown elimination. It's a total game changer. Before, he was limited to one summon every half hour, but now he can create a literal legion on a whim. One of his skeletons gets crushed into dust by a heavy blow from the boss. Lu Ran doesn't even flinch. He's already preparing the next wave. The giant horned bull, a level 5 hostile boss, lets out a deafening roar as it prepares to charge. The bull tears through the front line of skeletons, shattering them with its massive horns. Lu Ran realizes that even in large numbers, his level 1 skeletons are still incredibly fragile. A single direct hit from the boss is enough to wipe them out completely. He checks his mana, it's down to 50%, but he decides to keep spamming summons to overwhelm the beast. He's determined to win this fight, even if it means draining every last drop of his MP. He summons another massive wave of skeletons, giving the battle everything he's got. He lets out a defiant scream, swearing that he will eventually stand at the very top of the Longxia nation. He orders the entire army to charge head-on into the charging bull. The impact is brutal, with bones flying everywhere as the bull tries to trample its way through. The skeletons are being decimated, but they're successfully slowing the massive beast down. The giant horned bull roars in frustration, unable to shake off the endless tide of undead. Lu Ran's MP finally bottoms out, and he knows he can't summon any more reinforcements. With a roar of his own, he charges in himself, refusing to let the monster win. He drives his weapon deep into the bull's skull, finally taking down the floor 1 boss of the novice proving grounds. He stands over the fallen beast, panting and covered in blood, but he can't help but grin at the victory. He realizes that traits are a legendary feature, something most people have to grind for dozens of levels to unlock. A notification confirms he's reached level 2, and more details about how traits work appear on his screen. He wonders if he's the only one in the world with this kind of power. He feels a surge of confidence. With this bonus, he won't lose to even the highest ranked hidden classes. He looks toward the future, imagining the day when he can command an army of unstoppable, high-level undead. He smiles to himself, knowing that with cooldown elimination, he is going to become a true calamity. Lu Ran is determined to ride this momentum and keep hunting monsters. He's certain that returning to the top of the rookie rankings is just around the corner. Suddenly, a sharp wave of fatigue hits him, forcing him to his knees as he clutches his staff for support. He pulls up his status screen and winces at the 0% MP. He didn't expect to be this completely drained once his mana ran out. Panting heavily, he decides he needs to fully recover his MP before he can even think about soloing another floor to level up. 2 hours later, Lu Ran finally steps out of the dungeon hall, his gait steady once again. He's managed to reach level 5 after a solid 2-hour grind against split-hoof bulls, and he can feel his traits growing more powerful. He walks through the hall with his status window open, reviewing the impressive new skills and traits he's acquired. He takes note of Corpse Explosion, a skill that lets him turn his own skeletons into powerful bombs for 3x area of effect damage. It's an incredibly efficient way to clear mobs since it doesn't even consume MP, sparing him from the slow grind of the past. Even more impressive is the Damage Transfer trait, which redirects every bit of damage he takes onto a designated summon. He's eager to see how these mechanics translate into a real fight, though he's satisfied with the theory for now. His sharp eyes catch a hooded man in a tan vest lurking nearby, holding a phone as if he's documenting Lu Ran's every move. Lu Ran narrows his eyes, wondering if the stranger has been secretly stalking him and taking photos this whole time. He recognizes the guy as someone who has been hanging around the hall since he first arrived earlier that day. Before he can confront him, the mysterious figure vanishes into thin air, leaving Lu Ran to grumble about the weirdo. Putting the encounter out of his mind, he decides to head home and rest up so he can tackle a level 5 dungeon tomorrow. Unbeknownst to him, the stalker is already reporting his progress to a mysterious miss, confirming his rapid ascent to level 5. Later, Lu Ran walks through the West Commercial District of Blackfire City Central Plaza, his staff still gripped in his hand. He pauses in front of a high-end restaurant, the bright signage advertising meals that offer powerful buffs to those who can afford them. He looks over the menu, but the thousands of gold required for even a simple STR buff are way beyond his current budget. He stares at the glowing display for a long moment before pulling out his phone to double-check his own meager funds. With only 136 gold in the bank, he gives up on the fancy meal and decides to head back to the slums for a cheaper dinner. His peaceful walk is cut short when a familiar mocking voice calls out his name from the crowd. He turns to see Liang Xiaoyu and Jiao Jiao surrounded by their clique, all laughing as they prepare to make a scene. Lu Ran tries to head out, but his path is blocked by some familiar faces looking for trouble. One of the guys points and laughs, making sure everyone knows this is the pathetic ex-boyfriend. Liang Xiaoyu sneers at the basic weapon Lu Ran is carrying, mocking him for being dead broke. The rich kid swings his glowing blue-tier axe, showing off exactly what money can buy. He keeps poking, asking if the slum rat really can't afford anything better than trash-tier gear. The rest of the group joins in on the mocking, doubling over with laughter. Lu Ran has had enough. He grips his staff tight and gives them one final warning to step aside. His eyes take on a cold glow as he tells them they really don't want to deal with the consequences. Liang just laughs it off, bragging about being level 3 and asking if the N-Ranker has a death wish. The protagonist doesn't even slow down, telling the loudmouth to just get lost. That sends the rich kid over the edge. He can't stand being ignored by someone he considers trash. He swings his massive axe with a roar, fully intending to put Lu Ran in his place. Metal hits wood with a massive spark, but the strike is stopped dead. Liang Xiaoyu stares in disbelief as his attack is completely neutralized. Lu Ran stands there unfazed, reminding them that he gave them a fair chance to walk away. He turns back with a chilling look, calling them trash for not knowing when to quit. Suddenly, a skeletal hand rips through the pavement, surrounded by ghostly blue flames. A whole horde of skeletons starts crawling out of the ground, their eyes burning with mana. The bullies stumble back, their smug faces replaced by pure terror. Lu Ran stands at the center of his new army. A system notification pops up, confirming he's already level 5. The group is losing it. They can't wrap their heads around how an N-Ranker reached level 5 so fast. The skeletons don't wait for an answer, immediately swarming Liang's lackeys. The protagonist watches the chaos with total indifference, dismissing them all as worthless. Watching from a distance, Qin Wuyao confirms that the rumors are true. Lu Ran really is level 5. She knows the rules of the game, and summoning an army this size shouldn't be possible yet. The girl realizes there's something special about him. He must have a hidden trait. Back in the fight, Liang Xiaoyu is swinging wildly, trying to keep the undead off him. He screams that he'll win once he gets serious, but he's clearly just coping at this point. Lu Ran lets out a dry smile, asking the guy if he's actually going to try or just keep talking. The bystanders are in full panic mode, screaming that Lu Ran is playing for keeps. The antagonist's face is pale. He's realized way too late that he's picked the wrong fight. Lu Ran mocks him, saying he's just being polite and giving him the chance to get serious. He raises his hand, and the blue aura around him glows even brighter. The protagonist stares him down, ready to see if there's any bite behind all that barking. Cornered, the rich kid starts shouting about his family's company, hoping his dad's name will save him. Lu Ran isn't in the mood for excuses and tells him to shut his mouth. Liang is trembling now, his brain failing to process how he's being dominated. Lu Ran stands tall, still waiting for that big serious move that never comes. The bully retreats while shouting empty threats about how Lu Ran is going to regret this. The protagonist just starts walking away, telling the guy he can try his luck anytime he wants. He leaves them with a final warning: if they block his path again, they won't get off so easy. Lu Ran casts one last cold glance over his shoulder and tells them to get lost. Liang clenches his teeth in pure frustration, finally accepting he's outmatched. He orders a retreat, telling Wang Yujiao they're leaving while Lu Ran and his skeletons watch them crawl away. Lu Ran snaps his fingers to dismiss the summons, his expression totally cold. He knows guys like that rarely learn their lesson, but he's not about to waste any more of his time on a petty bully. With the path finally clear, the protagonist sets his sights on a level 5 dungeon for the next day. He needs to keep grinding and leveling up before the rookie rankings are officially revealed.